A massive crack in the ground that's estimated to be up to 50 feet deep has opened up in Kenya seemingly overnight.
A key highway has been damaged twice.
Imagine waking up one morning to find a massive crack running through your home.
One day, not in our lifetime, but one day, Eastern Africa could have a brand new ocean. Right where Kenya, Ethiopia, and Tanzania stand today, the land is slowly tearing apart. Not in a dramatic, sudden way, but little by little, year after year, the ground beneath us is moving. And the truth is, it's already happening. If you've ever driven across the Great Rift Valley, you've probably stopped at the viewpoint and looked down at that massive drop in the land. The long stretch of escarpments, the lakes, the volcanoes. It feels ancient and powerful, but that valley isn't just scenery. It's a crack in the Earth's crust, and it runs for over 6,000 kilometers. What you're looking at is not just a valley formed by erosion. You're looking at a place where an entire continent is slowly breaking apart. The ground feels solid, permanent, unshakable. But the Earth's surface is actually made up of giant pieces called tectonic plates. These plates are constantly moving, floating on softer rock deep beneath the surface. Most of the time we don't notice it because the movement is incredibly slow. Scientists call the larger western side the Nubian Plate and the eastern side the Somali Plate, and right between them, the land is stretching apart. As it stretches, the crust becomes thinner. When it thins, it begins to crack, and when it cracks, sections of land sink down, forming a long valley. That valley is the Great Rift. This isn't just a theory, we can actually see the signs. In 2005, a massive crack suddenly opened in Ethiopia, stretching for over 50 kilometers. The ground literally split apart, revealing what has been happening slowly beneath the surface for millions of years. Across the Rift Valley region, there are small earthquakes, active volcanoes, hot springs, and deep lakes. All of these are clues that the Earth's crust here is under pressure and constantly shifting. You might have noticed how many volcanoes exist along the rift. Mount Longonot in Kenya, Mount Suswa, Oldoinyo Lengai in Tanzania, Erta Ale in Ethiopia, one of the few places on Earth with a constantly bubbling lava lake. These volcanoes exist because as the crust pulls apart, magma from deep inside the Earth rises closer to the surface. Sometimes it erupts. Sometimes it just heats underground water, creating hot springs and geothermal energy. But all of it points to the same powerful force below us. The land is slowly separating, and here's what makes this even more mind-blowing. The plates here are moving apart at about the same speed your fingernails grow, just a few millimeters every year. So slow you'd never notice it, but over millions of years, that tiny movement adds up to massive change. If this process continues, the gap will keep getting wider. Eventually, in the very distant future, water from the Indian Ocean could flow in and fill the space. And when that happens, Eastern Africa could become a new coastline. A new ocean could be born where the Rift Valley stands today. It sounds unbelievable, but this is exactly how the Red Sea was formed. It began as land pulling apart, just like what we're seeing now. Over time, the separation widened until water filled the gap. What's happening in Kenya, Ethiopia, and Tanzania today is like watching the earliest stage of that same process. And even today, the Rift Valley still affects daily life. The volcanic activity has created incredibly fertile soils that support farming. The underground heat powers geothermal plants like those in Olkaria, helping generate electricity for the country. The lakes support ecosystems and communities, and the dramatic landscapes draw visitors from around the world. All of it is connected to the same force, slowly pulling the land apart beneath our feet. So the next time you stand at the edge of the Great Rift Valley and look across that vast drop in the land, remember what you're really seeing. You're looking at a place where the Earth is still being shaped, where a continent is slowly splitting in two, and where millions of years from now, a new ocean may exist. This is Safari Science, where curiosity goes on safari and science tells the story.